everybody, it's Christine with Coco Daisy, and today I'm going to share with you these stamp sets that are part of our Big Sky collection, our super fun collection for March. We even have, we have 3 stamp sets. We even have a special a la carte stamp set that you can purchase separately. This is super fun. So I'll go through that with you. These 2 stamp sets are part of the Traveler's Notebook kit and the Modern Memory Keeping kit. Or if you subscribe to the stamp subscription, you get both of these. This one is a completely separate stamp set. If you are a subscriber, this will be available during early ordering. And if there are any left, then it will be available for general public on the 1st, but I have a feeling these are going to go fast. So if you're a subscriber, you'll get first dibs on those. So let's start with the stamp set from the Traveler's Notebook kit. And we have some fun silhouettes in here. We have this great kind of book plate stamp. I love this one. I feel like that's super versatile. Not only for scrapbooking or journaling, but it would be great in a planner too if you wanted to use that to use it for sections, for headers, for different sections in your planner. So I feel like you could do a lot with that. And it comes with the days of the week, March, a little date stamp, and then the best part. So what I did is I started out, I stamped that book plate, and then I just showed you how each of those items will fit, and then they'll also fit together. So you can do just the date, just March, just the days of the week, or you can group some of them together. So I think this looks really cute, the March with the date. So, and you could always, again, anytime you want to use stamps, you can stamp directly on your image or on your, whatever you're crafting, but you can also stamp that separately on a little bit of a heavier cardstock, cut it out, and it becomes a die cut. So always remember that when you're stamping or your images, you can turn these into die cuts and layer them really easily. So that is the little book plate, and then you can keep going. I mean, you can keep adding more and more if you want to create a little scene. That's the fun thing about these particular stamp sets. They're set up that you can make all kinds of fun scenes with them. So here I just added just one of the cactus. Here I added the skull and the boot. And then this one I went even further. I added the cactus, the skull, and then the wild and free, and made it a whole little scene here. And then the boots, you could do 2 of them. I did one a little lighter and darker. And this one, I did the boot with the skull and the wild and free. I did the boot with the horseshoe and then added some wording here. Same idea here, just without the horseshoe. So there's a lot of different ways you could layer the boot as well. I did the boot with the cactus with the wild and free. So any of these images are going to work with any of these words or the wild and free kind of cute little title. So you can do any of those together, and then of course then you just start layering with all of the other bits. So you have the skull with the cactus. One of the things I wanted to point out is a reason why you should play. And so let me show you the colors a minute too that I used. So for Stampin' Up, I had the Tranquil Tide, the Old Olive, and the Sahara Sand. And then from the Stamp Market, I have the Umber. And the Umber it's kind of like a really dark kind of green almost. And that's what you see that I used a lot here. I thought it went really perfect with the collection. And then the Dijon, Mango, and Rusty. And I believe we should have all of those in the store. And then I also used a brown from the Memories line, and it's just called Brown. So, but one of the things I want to admit, one of the reasons why I feel when you get your stamp sets, you need to get your colors together and just sit down and play at first is specifically because of this. You have no idea how the colors are going to work with the images, and you get a better idea of layout and what works with what. So originally I was like, I want to do the horseshoe with the skull. And I did the skull in the lighter, and then I did the horseshoe, and I didn't like how that looked. So I reversed them, and I really like how that turned out. And that's simply because I was taking the time to play. I think it also gets you familiar with the stamps in the stamp set, the positioning and how they worked. Like, I loved how this turned out, where part of the skull fits in the wild and free. The only way you're going to find that is by playing and just kind of messing around with things. So that's why I really, really encourage you to not just immediately dive in and start stamping on your projects, but take some scrap paper and just start playing with the stamps and the colors and the positioning of them. And then as you build, you'll start feeling better and better about what builds, what you can add on top of, and then you'll end up with something more like that. So that is a look at some of the items that I used for some of the ways that I put the items together or the images together for the Traveler's Notebook stamp set. So let's move on to the next one, which is from the Modern Memory Keeping Kit. And same idea, if we just play around, we can see what works and how to build and build and build. So this one has a few more items in it that are scenes. And I didn't have the time to do all of the stamp sets together, but I did want to mention that there's so many different ways that you could incorporate these scenes together. Like there's two cactus, the skull and the sunshine, this silhouette of the horse with the cactus, and this little mountain scene. So there's a lot of ways that you could use and build all of these scenes together. But one of the things that I love are these little half circle stamp sets. So I took this little mountain scene, and then, I don't know if do you call that a mountain? Kind of, maybe. And then I added the Definitely Not Our First Rodeo, This Month Remembered, and it works perfectly over that. Then I expanded it a little bit and added the sun here. I added the sun here, and I wanted it to look like it was behind that. So I just tore a little piece of scrap paper, and you just mask that off. And then when you stamp and lift it up, it looks like that sunshine is behind that. So this little sun as well works with the This Month Remembered. You can do that little sun with these fun little, they're just kind of little images, they're little embellishments that you can add. This Month Remembered makes a great full circle. So I did that around the full sun as well. I like how that turned out. And then I did the Every Morning I Wake Up. I did that with a number of different things on top, and it really worked out well. So I did the half sun. I did it with the cactus and the sun again, masking off part of it. I did the same idea here with the full sun and just masked off the top when I stamped. And then I kind of combined. And this is what when I talk about playing, this is what I mean. You start to play and you get more ideas. And I think it just expands the usefulness of the stamp sets, because you figure out there's a lot of ways to layer these. And so with this one, I did the I wake up every morning, I wake up with the little scene and the sun. So again, you can just keep layering and adding and adding. I did the cute little cactus with Definitely Not Our First Rodeo. I thought that was cute. And then one of my favorite stamps is this ampersand, this very embellished ampersand. I love that. It is going to be great for titles. So you can do a before and after on a layout. You could do a this and that layout. You could do a his and hers. There's so many fun ways you could use that as a jumping off point and a focal point for a layout. So we have the ampersand, but a couple of ways that you can layer it. You can do the Definitely Not Our First Rodeo. I added the little embellishments on that one. And then the food one, because I always love to include pictures of what we have for dinner or cooking. I think that that's a great record in your memory keeping. it's fun to look back on that stuff. So we have the delicious food with friends, and then I just added the little embellishment with that. I thought that was cute. This one, I stamped the sun behind it. This one, and this was just kind of a neat little accident. And again, it's because I was playing with the stamp sets. So the little half sun, what I did is I stamped it on top, but then I realized it has that line, and it's perfect for mirroring and stamping, turning it and doing it the other way. So that turned out really, really cute. I love how that turned out. Just a cute little addition. And then we have the sunshine with the cactus and the delicious food with friends. If you go out to a Southwest restaurant or go get tacos, something like that, that'd be cute for a layout with that. And then this one I kind of doubled up. I did the This Month Remembered with the delicious food inside of it. So a lot of fun ways to layer these. And again, these scenes, you can just keep going on and on. Like this here would be really, really cute with the little silhouette of the cowboy. I love that. All right, and then we have our large a la carte stamp set. And I really, really, really wanted these as stamps. They're throughout the collection, but I really wanted them as stamps. I thought they'd be so fun. But because these are smaller stamp sets, you'd maybe get one or two, and I wanted a bunch of them, so that's why we did an extra stamp set. And these, of course, would make great die cuts. If you use your circle punch and punch them out, they would make such a fun background. If you stamped all of them in real subtle tones in a background, like the yellow, would be really, really fun to create your own pattern paper with these. And again, there's a few items on here that continue on that idea of creating scenes as well, and I'll show you that in a minute. But there's a few ways, even though these are really, really stand-alone stamps, there's a few ways you can embellish them or layer them. So the Enjoy the Journey, I have the skull or the cactus on there is really cute. And I did stamp these in black because, again, that just remembering our stamp sets are made in the USA, and they're made with a photopolymer stamp. And they are super, super great quality. They cling really well. In fact, if you have kind of more delicate stamps, be careful when you peel them off your acrylic block because they stick so well. You want to just kind of be careful that you don't tear them. And the images are super crisp. And I love to use my VersaFine black ink when I'm stamping in black. And it gives you look at the detail in this, particularly like the lines on the snake. Because we're using that photopolymer, we're able to get that super detailed look with those lines and then the little bits on the coffee cup that you can't get with stamp sets that are made over in China. I mean, I'm being honest with you. I'm sorry. They're better. So I did stamp a lot of these in black just to show you how beautiful and crisp they are. This one, the little Wild West, which is super cute, I added a cactus on each side. Here I did it with yellow, and I added the skull with that one. And then I just did it in black so you can see it. The King Cafe with the coffee cup, which I just think is super cute. I did that with two of the cactus. Here I did the arrow on each side. And what I love about this, and again, the happy accident just by playing, is the way that the lettering is done. It's larger to smaller and then smaller to larger. So it has that neat effect, which you notice, but when you add the arrows, because the arrows are the same width and because they're then pointing out, I think it really amplifies that look, and I think that's really cool. I did the same thing here because it does that a little bit, not as much as that. It does get a teeny bit almost, or at least visually, it kind of looks that way to me. It probably No, actually it is all the same. See, it's an optical illusion, but it's amplified on that one. And then we have the exploring. That one again, I did with those arrows. And then on this one, I did it with the 2 cactus on each side and just kind of extended that, which I thought was cute as well. And then the Wild Plantation Restaurant and Gallery, added a couple of the cactus. Here I just added the skull next to it. And then the Enjoy the Journey. So you see that I did that here. Now here what I did, I layered it. I took this scene and put that in the background and layered it over top. And I think that turned out really cute as well. And then I did the same thing here. I layered 2 of them together. Don't miss the important things. Enjoy the Journey, and layered that over the little cactus one. And then you have this Just Cookers. And this one I added the arrow, I added the skull to that one, and then I did some layering with it with the cactus and the steer behind it. So a lot of fun ways that you can layer some of these, but for the most part, these are great standalone stamps as well. Now, if you want to expand on the idea of scenes, you can do that with this as well. So, and again, remember, so many ways you can bring, if you get all 3 stamp sets, all of these images together and create even larger scenes. This little stamp set is really fun, and it's just kind of a little embellishment, but you could make a background with that if you wanted to, or a border would be really fun. But for the scenes, what I did, I have like the skull and the cactus here. I did the steer, the skull, and the cactuses, a couple of them. Same idea here. This one, I just did a couple of the cute little leaf flourishes along the bottom. I did the skull with one of the leaf flourishes. These are fun to just incorporate into your journaling sometimes, or by a title. And then this one, I took the this scene, added a couple of the cactus and the steer. And then this one, I did a bunch of them. Well, let me talk about this one here first. So I did the steer, and then I added the Enjoy the Journey. I thought that was kind of cute. But then what I did here is I have the scene, I stamped a number of the cactus, and then I added the steer, but then I also stamped on the Enjoy the Journey, and that created a really fun scene as well. So as I said, there are so many ways that you can mix all of this together, but a lot of fun with these stamp sets. And don't feel like, oh, I don't have anything Western. It doesn't have to be that way. You can have fun with a lot of these, like I said, just the idea of adventure, or if you go out, like I said, if you go out to dinner, it's just kind of fun to go outside what we look out our window and see. And I think there's a lot of fun ways that if you think outside the box, you could incorporate this into your everyday.